Hey, how's it going? It's Nick here, and I just wanted to introduce this new series that I'm doing. It's called Conversations Set in Stone. It is meant to contrast my old body of work. If you haven't seen it already, Conversations in Black and White. This was a series that I started in 2020, and it is all about just kind of how when COVID happened and we were told to stay apart from one another, how we kind of lost those intimate human connections that kind of using printmaking and the multiples and the mailing system. I would use this as my primary way of communicating with people and trying to maintain personal connections with people. And it's been a long time since then. We're not really discouraged to travel as much anymore. Traveling's pretty normal, and all of my grad school friends have kind of scattered, and I've made so many more connections of people all across the US. And so I thought it would be cool to do a new series where I kind of embrace the spirit of collaboration and engaging with one another and having conversations, not through the mail, but in person. And so this series is about me packing up a lithostone, and I'm going to travel and take this stone to people, and we're going to make a collaborative print together and just kind of chit chat while we're drawing to emphasize the beauty of kind of the human connection and the connection of artists. So I hope you enjoy this first video where I travel down to Texas and I visit my friends Zoe and Chenxi. Are we making them see through?
It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to whoever gets that part.
How do we decide?
Does what part? You just claim it if you want. If you have a part that you're kind of excited about, I vote. Unless y'all want to like draw straws for different parts.
All right, I guess I should introduce the series.
Yeah.
So,
tell us what we're doing.
Hello viewers, welcome to the first episode of Conversations Set in Stone. So, you already know me. I'm the person who runs this channel, Nick. But I also have with me my friends Zoe and Chenxi. I guess you two should introduce yourselves so they can put voices to their faces.
Okay, do you want to go first, Chenxi?
Yeah. My name is Chenxi Gao, and I just graduated from University of North Texas, the MFA program in Printmaking. And Zoe.
Oh yeah. My name is Zoe Couvillion. I graduated in 2022 from Northern Illinois University with my MFA in printmaking, and then I worked for a year at Ohio University as a visiting instructor. And this past year, I have worked at the University of North Texas as a visual arts technician. And yeah, it's been a good time. I have missed teaching print, but Clarissa Gonzalez, who works as the print technician here, has been gracious enough to let me use the shop on occasion, and it's been amazing because I still get to keep my print practice up. So, yeah, that's a pretty thorough introduction. It's education. I'm originally from Louisiana, I guess I'll add.
What would you all say your favorite print process is? Well, mine's lino cut.
Oh.
You're flinging chunks at me.
Sorry. What about, do you have a favorite one, Chenxi?
I've been doing screen printing a lot, and it's been working good. But I also like Intaglio, maybe.
I think lithography still takes the cake for me. I don't know. I think there's no way to match how many different textures and patterns that you can create on the surface of a stone. Some people would argue with that, but I've fallen in love with it for that reason. So I'll say litho is first and foremost, and then second, relief processes. I love carving. I think a lot of my litho practice remains pretty reductive still. I go back and forth with the knife and drawing a lot. So when we talked about this specific process, I was really keen on, I was like, okay, can I reduce? Can I go back in with a knife? Because I don't know. I think that's what I would miss most about the lithographic process if it had to be taken away from me.
You had a brush, didn't you?
I did. I had, there's a...
I did not bring my brush.
Do you see that little can?
Yeah, I think I see some of my hand texture in that corner. There might be some gum.
That's part of your collaboration, I guess.
Yeah,
We'll
have
figure
my
it.
fingerprints there.
I think the hardest part about this is I just want to draw and not really talk.
Yeah, and then
It's just different than like a dedicated sort of like podcast idea.
right. But at the same time, you know that the amount of time that like the imagery is going to go on, like if you're speeding up the visuals, then you'll be able to like select the best parts. Because yeah, whenever people are vibing in the shop and just chatting, it's never a super intentional conversation. How did y'all find? I feel like my me getting into litho as my favorite came from the people who taught me, like and their preferences halfway, and then the other half is like just the way that I draw in general, like that the way I make is very detail oriented, and so litho kind of lends itself to that in some ways, or texture oriented, working reductively and additively oriented. But I think, you know, both the people who taught me, both in undergrad and grad, were very litho heavy. Would y'all say it was more your professors or more what you found? Like, what led you to that being the way that you work?
You know, I tell this to my students when they ask me why I do so much litho, and I say I actually don't really like litho that much. But it just works so well. It's much easier to do a collaborative litho. And then I just kind of wanted to see if I could do it from home because I knew it would be a challenge, and I just wanted to see if I could do that challenge. And so I invested all this time into doing lithos. And I kind of don't like drawing.
Oh my gosh. So this method is not the one that you'd be working with ideally.
No, not really. I don't think I'd make much lithos if it wasn't for like demos, and it's so easy to collaborate with people.
I feel like that makes sense.
I'm also blanking on what a horse looks like right now.
I was gonna make like a hyper realistic horse head, and then we drew straws, and I was like, God damn it! I'm here for.
I was doing like a weird pinata horse.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a horse. Can we just
Yeah, it could be
some
anything.
kind of
It's a
animal?
two-person something costume. I'm obsessed. That eye is horrifying.
Yeah, I think to me, I like Intaglio because I will always have the plate. I can modify things even after printing, or just do anything I want. And
Why
that-
are your hands so moist? It's gluing the paper to the
Don't
gun.
roast her. Don't roast. Leave her alone. Can I borrow the brush? Leave her alone. I won't stand for this bullying.
And my undergrad professor actually said he hated Intaglio because
Oh my God.
he didn't like the wiping.
Okay, so it wasn't him. He still taught it though, even though he hated it.
Actually, the wiping's my favorite part of Intaglio.
Really? Ew.
I think my undergrad professor, he didn't make a new Intaglio for the demo. He just used an very old plate.
Dang. I do love that about Intaglio, that you can just degrease it, make it alive again. Barnes had one ancient stone that had like the Virgin Mary holding Jesus on it. That who knows how old that image was, but every now and then, as if it was a ceremony, he'd bring it back to life. He'd, go in, gum it, resurrect it, roll it up. We try to get a good image.
That print.
Oh yeah, I didn't get one of those. He didn't do it with us physically, I guess. Did he? I feel like he did it.
I
one
saw
year.
that stone in the shop.
I think one year he rolled it up while we were there. And I think some of the grads before us still had one. But no, I didn't get one either. We need to go back and ask him, like, Barnes. Let us get the Virgin Mary print. Weird jester gnome shoe. Putting way too much detail into. I need to move on. I feel like the wiping process of Intaglio, I can like kind of lose myself in, which is nice. You just kind of go robot brain. I miss that. I haven't made an Intaglio piece in a hot second.
Yeah, same. It does take a lot of time.
I just hate waiting for my plate to etch in the ferric.
Oh, really?
But you can do something else.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Multitask.
You can watch a video.
I like to do
Yeah. Go film a video.
one
Go
thing
ahead.
at a time kind of person. I don't like having several projects going on at once. And I think I like always. I don't know. My plate always gets scratched in the bath.
What?
I
What
don't-
are you doing in your bath?
I don't know. I don't know. Some
It's
other
bath
students
full of
put it in
beads,
there,
full of glass.
putting things in. Always just scratches, and it frustrates me.
Oh, Did you make an intaglio while you were in grad?
One. Well, actually, no, I took Sasha. No. I did take Sasha's classes, but COVID hit right as we hit the intaglio section. So I think I did two. I think I did them for like demo plates. But if it was like a zinc plate and nitric, ooh, I do like that. Because that etches fast.
It's like all about the speed.
Harsh.
This is why you created this process, I feel like. It's all for the speed of it.
Yes.
I think I love a process where I have to keep coming back to it and fixing a little bit, tweaking it, and then bringing it back. I got into print really whenever I had to do some intaglio processes. And I think the thing that kept bringing me back was that it's like a plant. You gotta keep revisiting it. You gotta keep checking on it. You gotta kind of nurture it.
I think I really miss the soft ground I did in undergrad. It was really nice.
Were y'all using just like the beeswaxy goodness, or?
Yeah, I think so.
They had the Charbonnel soft ground balls. I like that. But I forgot how to do like texture transfers when you run it through the press. I could never get that to go well.
Have you done any texture transfer on stone since like doing stone?
Nope. Other than I guess you count my fingerprints.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, he is a piñata.
I don't know what a real horse looks like.
his eye. It's good.
Oh, it reminds me of that meme where the back of the horse.
Oh
really
yeah,
realistic,
it goes from
and the
there.
head kind of you have a sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, Zoe, how'd you come up with the idea?
Well, I was trying to think of a way for there to be a lot of characters involved and then interacting with one another. And I'm really a fan of the two-person horse costume. I've been wanting to do it as like a Halloween costume or something for a while, but it's finding another participant for the two-person horse costume that is the struggle, because one of you always has to be the ass, right? And so I love that idea. And I also love the concept of like a kid and another kid deciding to be a man, or better, like two people that are already grown deciding to be an even taller person. So I thought it was just a perfect way kind of have everybody coming together to get somewhere. It might not be efficient, but it involves a lot of collaboration, which maybe is what we're doing now.
So my biggest fear with this series was like, what if I get someone who doesn't like drawing people, but I love drawing people? Or someone wants to draw nature and I hate drawing nature.
This is also a
like,
good way to not draw, yeah.
How do you decide what you want to draw? You just kind of let Zoe take the wheel on this one.
What I tried to do too was make it to where it could be ambiguous. Like you could decide to not have, a real person be behind or underneath anything. You could decide like, oh, the tail can be whatever texture I want. Every shoe can be, however crazy. You don't gotta stick to a shoe narrative. It could be a hoof. I should have given this person hooves so that
It was a horse.
yeah, riding on the. But I like the jester feet.
Hey, your Jester's got some slender legs.
Look, he's been doing Pilates.
Defined.
Kneecaps. What did you grade this to?
220? I was a very quick 220 because I was
I was about to say, you hit it with 220 once. This is the most 150, 220 I've ever. No critique. Just noticing.
There's another stone. It might have been grained a bit finer.
I am mad at it. I was just trying to figure out, I was like, what's happening as I shade? What were some of the weird things that you said we could use to draw with?
Pencils, I know Sharpies and ballpoint pens will work.
They'll work.
You
Regular
might be
ink?
surprised by how thin your ballpoint pen lines will be.
Oh.
Because like paper, it kind of like indents the paper and makes a slightly wider line. Whereas on the stone, it can't do that. And you get like super fine lines. Ink, I guess it depends on what type of ink. As long as it's not water soluble, I guess. And then we can scrape. I have not tried sandpaper though. But I imagine it would work.
Once you start working with other materials, it gets weird because it's like things start being different colors on the surface of the stone.
What are you drawing with?
Me?
Oh, like your pencil. What pencil did you have?
Oh, I put a, I think it's a medium T-Bar Ranch crayon in there. It was a little nub that I'd saved from a while back. Yeah, I think it's a medium T-Bar Ranch. If it was a soft T-Bar Ranch, we'd have a lot darker gesture shoe happening over here. I go in sometimes and I scumble with the tip of my knife so that it breaks up like any clumps of grease dots to where, because I think normally the texture of a crayon when you're coloring with it will make naturally just kind of organic clumps, and I can go in with my knife and make it a lot, basically add DPI to that area. It's like going in and like artificially creating good quality in your photo. So I have to be careful. Sometimes I'll like go in to edit a photo in Photoshop, and I'll be like, oh, there could be like a couple more eyelashes on this section, or oh, like maybe these hairs need to be gotten rid of, but I'll clean up the section too nicely, and so it'll look really retouched. I'm like, oh no, like I need to break it down. I need to make the pixels uglier. It's amazing what our eyes can pick up on in terms of pattern recognition. Like, I had to tell a student one time. He tried to draw. Okay, so it was like a window with blinds, and it was supposed to be like his little workstation. And it was a window with blinds, and all the blinds were shut. And I was like, "Why'd you shut the blinds?" And he was like, "Oh, because I guess I figured it would be easier to draw." And I was like, "Yeah, huh?" He's like, "I didn't want to draw
blinds are
anything
hard
outside."
to draw.
That was it. And he didn't realize. He was like, "Yeah, but like then they don't look real, and I don't know why they don't look real." I was like, "Well." As a result, he came to class with the worst looking blinds anyone had ever seen. And I told him, I said, hey, what do you think went wrong with your blinds? And he was like, I don't know. It's just supposed to be a bunch of rectangles. Like I just held the ruler there and made a bunch of lines, and I thought that would be it. I said, well, maybe the problem is that the blinds are more than just a bunch of rectangles, and that if you look at the thing long enough, you start to see that the inconsistencies and, the parts where the blinds kind of fold the wrong way and the parts where the shadows fall in really bizarre spots are what makes the blinds feel like blinds. I said, it's kind of when you play a video game and the developers didn't spend a whole lot of time modeling grass. They made like one grass model and then repeated it throughout the entire field. I said, as soon as you're in the game, that takes you out of it. Like you don't feel like it's real anymore because every grass is the same grass. So that's what's happened with your blinds. Our brains are pattern seeking. We're looking for things that are similar. So you got to find the weird stuff to make it look real. He was like, oh, next time I made a drawing, he did a lot better. I was like, nice. Okay, good. I was like, please don't just use a ruler and think that you can make it happen. I'm sure I had moments like that when I was a student too, where I tried to shortcut my way out. Lord knows I would show up late to almost every class. That may have been more of a neurodivergence thing than it was. What part are you going to start on, man?
The feet. I'm going to give this man some Timbs.
No, not the Timbs. I think feet are like my favorite part of Exquisite Corpses. There's just so much you can do with shoes.
Yeah.
Really, I always feel bad for the person with the feet. I was like, man, they're getting kind of like the short end of the stick.
Like the tongue.
I do too. That's why I was like, I could do some weird stuff with that. Have either of y'all ridden horses growing up?
No.
Not even at like a fair?
I think once in the circus, came into town and I rode an elephant. That's about as close as I'm getting.
I always felt kind of bad for the elephant.
In retrospect, yeah, I kind of felt bad for that elephant.
Yeah. I think I did the horse once at a zoo.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
I've never even seen a horse at a zoo. Oh yeah, that's fair. Makes it make sense. They're like any other animal, but
I think my most vivid zoo memory is feeding a giraffe. And I did not realize how like huge those things are.
Just the giraffe in general?
Yeah. And his freaking tongue is like a freaking like snake, just like around like the lettuce.
I don't think I was ever prepared for the color of the giraffe tongue.
Is that like purple-ish?
Yeah, they're like
Gray,
sunproof. I need my whole body to be sunproof. I need some kind of melanin happening somewhere because I'm struggling. I think I walk around with an umbrella here in Texas, and no one's judged me yet. No one's been mean about it. You know, that's the nice thing about moving around a bunch to college towns is that I don't really feel like there's a lot of opportunity for almost anyone to judge me. Like, everybody's doing the same weirdo.
Yeah.
I do worry sometimes that, like, if I wear a specific outfit that is unsightly or bizarre enough that I'll run into a student and have them roast me. Man.
Has it ever happened, or?
I think it's happened when I was living in Ohio. And they never said anything. They haven't roasted me, but they definitely gave me a look. Like, what's that? Like, listen.
Oh, I definitely got roasted from my students for wearing the same outfit every day.
Yeah, but you do it on purpose, Einstein style.
Sometimes I'd go into, so I guess for reference, I wear a black button up with gold buttons. I have 3 of them, but I wear them like every single day. I only teach like 2 days a week. But then like if I come in on my off days, I don't wear that. And they're always like super surprised. They're like, oh my God, he's not wearing black.
He's got other clothes.
He's got other clothes. It was like, is your whole wardrobe just black? I've got other clothes. I just have to be professional.
I think since I'm like currently doing technician as my full-time job and then teaching as the part-time job afterward, I typically show up to teach in whatever I was in to be technician for. But I have an entire wardrobe of kind of professorly clothes that I just don't get to wear as a result of it because I don't want to wear like my skirts and my button-ups and stuff when I'm doing technician stuff. There's just no way I want to construct anything or fix anything or sit and do spreadsheets all day wearing that. So I ended up, I was like, oh, that's all. I could go home and change, I guess, in the 30 minutes I have between working as a technician and working as an instructor, but I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. No one's judging me. But in the last days of last semester, I did a funeral for the last days of class. Made it like kind of the class is passing, and so I was like, anyone else who wants to dress up, you know, as if we're in funeral attire is welcome to. I think a couple students did. I think most of the students were just glad the semester was ending, glad to get out of there. I'm gonna get a harder crayon, I think, to be more shading. All right, I'm switching, Nick. You asked me earlier what I was drawing with, and so I feel like I gotta rep all the different types of crayons I'm using. If that one was a T-Bar Ranch crayon, I'm now switching to one of Michael Barnes's super silvery crayons. And we decided that the silver is from what? The Castile soap?
Maybe. It could just be wax spoon. I don't know.
They're also so hard like graphite. I've been using them really sparingly to save the last little nubs that I have. But honestly, I feel like I could probably reach out to Barnes and he might mail me some. Oh, Michael. Barnes, if you watch this, I don't know why you're watching this, but if you do watch this, send me a crayon. I'm thinking about how weird a horse in a zoo is, but it shouldn't be that weird. And I'm thinking about like the different types of horses that there were, like pseudo horses and pre I guess our domesticated horse. There's little bitty horses for a while. The wild ones.
Are they different than ponies?
Yes, they were like a wild horse that was tiny.
Cute.
I'm thinking about why it is that we don't eat horse. I guess French people are, I guess, known to, or maybe not known to, but stereotyped to eat horse.
I've not heard that one.
Really?
I wouldn't be against eating a horse.
If I eat a cow, I feel like we're gonna get all the comments in the chat. Oh my god, horse eaters. The French influence on both of our cultures, Nick. Both of us like, yeah, I need a horse. Come on.
You know, there are also people eating dogs
Yeah.
and donkeys.
If we're gonna eat any kind of sentient animal, we might as well eat them all. Like, where do we draw the line?
Way ahead of you.
The line is a little bit hard.
I think the weirdest thing I've eaten is like a cricket.
Oh.
It was cooked.
I was gonna say, where'd you eat the cricket? Nate just
not
out in the
raw.
wild.
I think I was in New Orleans, and there was like a shop that sold like fried crickets.
I was gonna say, were you at the Insectarium in New Orleans?
Actually, I think it might have been.
Yeah. They do have, that's where I've eaten a cricket. So I was like, man, I think I have two.
It just tasted like salted cardboard. Like it was like nothing. It was like hollow and like crispy and like flavorless.
It tasted a little bit like a sunflower seed to me. But there are a lot of people like across the planet who that is like a cricket's a great source of protein, like all sorts of bugs.
I don't think I'd be opposed to like cricket flour or something.
Yeah. A lot more protein than regular flour. Once again, the comments are just gonna go wild. Jesus.
Oh man, I eat McDonald's chicken nuggets. Nothing phases me.
Oh gosh. Wait, I know that Chenxi's a nugget fan. Do you have a preferred nugget? Like, is there the best chicken nugget? What is your rating?
I think as a child, I really liked McDonald's
Mm.
chicken nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce they have. I even Googled,
How to make it?
how to make it, or I can buy it, but people are like, they don't sell those.
Oh.
I think the closest is the Kroger brand sweet and sour. I might buy it and see what happens.
Shoot, I'll go with you to Kroger. Find out. I'm trying to think what the last nuggets I had was.
Wendy's spicy nuggets is like the best. Like, you've had those,
Didn't they release those while we were in grad?
yeah. And I bought like the 50-pack.
We all went. Was that when we all went in the van?
Oh, that was a separate time. That wasn't when I got the 50-pack.
Oh, for those listening at home, we lived in a group of printmakers that was way too many printmakers to be in one house, and we would get up to a lot of hijinks, as it were.
Like Wendy's. No, we didn't. We went to Wendy's because they had the Power Rangers toys and the Happy Meals, and I really wanted those.
Was it Power Rangers? No.
No. It was
was-
Transformers. It was
Mhm.
Transformers. I hate Power Rangers.
And then one of us had to use our mom voice and be like, "Hey, can we actually get like a bunch of Optimus Primes, or not a bunch of Optimus Primes? Oh, do you want a knife to sharpen it?
Yeah, there's a.
Oh, it's a built-in one. Just kidding. This is a perfect time to advertise."
I don't even sell these right now. I feel like I took them off. I was like more experimenting with them again.
Well, too bad. Maybe by the time this airs, you'll be selling them again. I don't think I've had nuggets in a second, which is sad, I guess. I haven't been on my nugget grind. I gotta step up my game. They're fast, efficient, solid source of protein. Make me a little sad when I think too hard about them, but I try not to. And then you haven't been to Lane's still, have you, Nick?
I don't think so.
Okay, so again, for our listeners at home, we have we have a Denton has its own Lanes, which is not Cane's. Do not get it twisted. It is its own thing that claims to have existed like the year before Cane's started existing. And
I don't know that. I didn't know that.
diehard Lanes fans are like, "Oh, yeah, Lanes is the original, and Cane's came after it." I'm like, "What?" Lanes is here, and like I think Cane's is from Louisiana, so also anybody can make chicken strips, and Lanes is suspiciously close. Like it is the exact menu, the exact same piece of bread in there.
And I remember when Canes came to DeKalb, that line was like wrapped around like their parking lot, like out onto the street.
I can never listen to their weird slogans without laughing at them.
We had a real clever like, what was it like drive-through host? Oh, what did they say?
It was not like the hey, want some chicken today? Like typical one.
Can't remember. I think one of them was like, "Hi, what can I get for you today? Chicken, or more chicken?"
Dang it.
One of them had a really clever rhyme. I can't remember what it was, but it was good.
I'm sure we could Google a list of, except I think there's.
Is that every Canes, or was it just like we had a really clever person at it?
I think every Cane's makes them do little goofy jingle things, but I think some people might take it into their own hands and get goofier with it. I love that medieval like paintings of animals looked like no one had ever seen the animals before.
Yeah.
And when it comes to horses, I know they had horses around. Like that's all they had.
Well, they didn't have cameras to take reference shots.
I know, but just bring the horse in there, right? Like who's gonna stop you? We were talking about that art piece the other day. Oh, and now I'm not gonna be able to think of the name of it. Bonus points to whoever can think of the title of that art piece where they just brought a whole bunch
Do you
of
want to
horses
finish
into the gallery,
the other shoe?
and they just let them sit in there. And
Real horses?
yeah, I think animal activists got mad. Found it. Oh no, it was Giannis Kounelis. I guess it was untitled, but he just stuck some horses in the gallery space.
Freaking untitled.
They're just there,
Sitting.
standing. tied to the wall. Yeah, untitled, and then in parentheses, 12 Horses by Yannis Mielis.
See, why not just make 12 Horses the title?
Yeah, I feel like that'd be easier. We also started talking a little bit yesterday about, I don't remember his first name, last name Burden, performance artist. Crucified himself on a van, shot guns at airplanes.
I do not know this artist.
Chris Burden. Christopher Lee Burden. There's a good list of, hold on. Burden began to work in performance art in the early 1970s. He made a series of controversial performances in which the idea of personal danger as artistic expression was central. His first significant performance work, 5-Day Locker Piece, was created for his master's thesis at University of California, Irvine, and involved his being locked in a locker for 5 days. It shouldn't make me laugh so hard. I'm sorry. I just like the image.
If he's locked in the locker, like, how are people going to see this?
No one did. That's the best part. No one had any idea. Here's his 1973 work, 747, involved the artist firing several pistol shots directly at a Boeing 747 passenger jet plane while it took off from Los Angeles International Airport. The piece had a single witness photographer, Terry McDonald, who filmed the act. Whew. His best-known work from the time is a 1971 performance piece, Shoot, in which he was shot in his left arm by an assistant from a distance of about 16 feet with a .22 rifle. Oh, Lord. This is the last part I'll read, I swear. He also did Dead Man in 1972, in which he lay on the ground covered with a canvas sheet and a set of road flares until bystanders assumed he was dead and called emergency services, leading to his arrest. I love art like that. just gonna put myself in grave danger for no reason.
Yeah, I think I watched the video of someone who shipped himself in a container across the country.
I love that. Might be cheaper than airfare.
It might be, I don't know.
Depending on
It
how
takes
heavy.
like weeks instead of a day.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I was talking earlier about riding horses. My family owned some horses during some periods of my life, but I never owned or had to care for any, thank God. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I remember when I saw a horse for the first time up close. They're bigger and muscular than I thought they were going to be.
How old were you? How long ago was this?
This was like 2 years ago.
Oh my God. I take
I've
for
only
granted
seen
growing
them.
up in the Louisiana South that, like, yeah, that might not be a thing everybody experiences.
I've only seen them from like the highway when I'm driving,
Yeah.
but like up close, I haven't seen one. My friend Hallie had a horse, and she took me to go see the horse when she went to go feed it. And then she was like, "All right, I'm gonna open the door. Just stand like in the door so he doesn't like run away or like try to run." I'm like, I don't think I could stop this thing if it tried. Like if it really wanted to, like I think it could like plow right through me.
A Nick-shaped crumple on the floor with hooves across it. Yeah, keeping horses where you want to keep them can be a challenge. I know that, a lot of my friends had horses growing up, and it was always a matter of navigating where electric wires were and like where horse lines were, and growing up being really scared of touching like live wires.
I feel like you should naturally be afraid of touching live wires.
You should. But then we'd get false confidence that they'd be off sometimes, and then shock the absolute crap out of ourselves. Have y'all ever been shocked?
No.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I don't want to.
Wait, why were you shocked? Well, you do all sorts of weird electric.
Yeah, well, I was helping someone renovate a restaurant, and I was like, we pulled out like a lighting fixture, and I was like painting around that area, and there's just like some wires sticking out of the thing, and it was like shocking my arm. I'm like, all of a sudden, I can't move my arm. Like it's getting really hard to like paint this area. Like my muscles aren't doing what they want them to do. I'm like, oh, I'm touching these wires right now.
Was it kind of tingly?
I didn't feel it. Like it's a little bit tingly. The longer I held it there, like the more I realized like it's kind of getting warm and tingly. But beforehand, it was just like I was just like paintbrushing like this spot, and then like all of a sudden like my hand didn't want to do like it was like I was like, huh, I can't paint for some reason.
Horrifying. I had my we were, like sometimes you have a kids party where you'll have a bouncy house or a water slide or something. And my aunt and uncle had rented a bouncy house, or actually one of those bouncy water slides.
Crazy.
And and put lots of water coming down the bottom of it. And I'd been on that all day. I must have been maybe between the ages of 7 and 11. And somewhere around there, 7, 11. And saw that the horses were coming closer to the area, but there was a fence between, where the bouncy slide was and where the horses were. And I really wanted to go look at the horses. So I walked over in my little swimsuit, sopping wet, up to the fence. And it didn't occur to me that the fence might be live. Like, if there's kids around, there's a party going on, certainly they would have turned off the electric fence. Nope. I put both hands onto the electric fence to lean into it to look at the horses. And I felt like someone took the middle of their boot and hit me as hard as they could in the back of my back. I thought someone kicked me. And so it landed me straight up. I must have flown a little bit because I landed on my back. The next thing I knew it. And someone had to, everybody came running up. They're like, oh, are you okay? I was like, oh. Who kicked me? They're like, no one kicked you. He held onto the fence, dummy. He was a little smarter, Nick. I don't think you could have known that you were going to get shocked. I should have been.
I thought they turned off the outlet.
Did y'all play with water guns a lot as kids?
Yeah.
Not as much.
Or were y'all Nerf gun kids? Nick's the.
I'm trying to think. I did have a Nerf gun, but then ran out of Nerf bullets.
My mom wouldn't let us have Nerf guns because she thought they promoted violence, which, she wasn't wrong. You do get really good at shooting somebody. But all my friends had them. I wanted them.
Yeah.
I love to shoot.
America.
I think when I was a kid, we had those. They use little plastic balls as the bullets.
Oh.
It can be pretty bad.
Yeah, not like
It's
an
like
airsoft
kids.
gun.
Yeah, it's just that kids play with it, but I didn't play it. But I collected a lot of little tiny plastic balls just on the ground randomly. They have different colors, like neon yellow and neon orange.
It sounds like an airsoft gun, I think. Hold up. It looks like a gun.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, they've recently made them look a lot more like real guns. These look pretty real, actually. Hold on.
I don't think a kid should play with it.
Would it be something else in Chinese?
Yeah, I can just search it.
Oh, nice.
It's easier that way.
I think it's another very American thing. Like, how much real guns can we make these guns? Look, did I tell you that when Taylor and I were driving cross country, we passed a billboard that said "Toys for Men," and it was a huge revolver.
Yeah, I think that it is
Oh.
airsoft gun.
Oh,
But maybe they have a less powerful version. Kids.
I hope so.
Yeah, I remember those, the plastic
Oh
things.
yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, airsoft guns hurt.
Yeah.
Dang. She was living a cooler, harder childhood than the rest of us. I went to one paintball thing as a kid. Getting hit with a paintball hurts.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that, and I went paintballing for the first time, and the first time I got hit with a paintball, I'm like, that really hurt. I did not realize how much this would actually hurt.
Ugh.
So the rest of the rounds, I was like, I really hope I get headshot into the helmet so I wouldn't actually feel it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but then that would disqualify the other person, right?
I don't think at this place,
Ah.
but everyone had to have a helmet. But yeah, I did not want to go or paintballing after that again.
I bet.
Yeah, shot in the back of the thigh.
Ugh. Can't get over the image of young Chenxi playing airsoft.
I didn't play it.
Oh, you're just
collected-
watching.
I collected the little.
You're getting the BBs while everyone else is shooting.
Yeah.
It's me with everyone wanting to fish. It made me sad to see the fish on the line. And so I became this is worse. This is definitely worse. My logic should not have been this, but I was like, I'll split the worms in half for everybody and give them worm pieces and put them on hooks. And so I was okay with using my bare hands to rip a worm in half and put it on a hook.
That's why I can't fish. Like I'm okay with every other part of fishing. I just don't like handling worms.
What? You're
Worms.
okay with like getting the fish off the hook and everything?
Worms just gross me out for some reason.
I mean, that's fair. They are
I
gross.
just really don't like handling worms. I can't do
Yeah.
it. Like
That's
I actually
why
can't put a
I'm
worm
not
on a
gonna
hook.
keep a lizard because I have to deal with some kind of bugs.
Oh gosh, yeah. Me and my lizard. It's a thing. She better be grateful that I've gotten tough. I said, I'll do it for you. For someone who does a lot of like reductive printing, I'm always surprised that you like try to draw so much of it. Because what I'm about to do for this finger is like I just go in blah, 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 and then I do everything with a knife. So like the fact that you go in and like you try to be as positive as possible first, Nick, like blows my mind.
Is that what I'm supposed to be doing?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a supposed to be. I just know that
No one taught me how to litho and draw.
I think the goal when you litho is to not reduce. Or like I think a lot of people are like, oh, avoid reduction at all costs. I had thought that you said that we couldn't reduce with this process whenever you came to my house last night.
I did say that.
Oh,
And my first tests, it did not work. But subsequent tests, it has worked.
oh nice.
So, I don't know.
Do you think it's like a certain layer you can reduce? Like if I go too deep, maybe, or
Maybe I was just too messy with my reducing the first time I went through my tests. And so I didn't really clear everything out.
Nick's actually going to get rid of all the audio and say that he just grew some extra arms. Be like,
I get rid of all the audio and replace it all with scraping sounds.
Actually, replace it just with the sound of you breathing real heavy into the mic the whole time. 30 minutes ASMR, me breathing.
Sorry guys, my video got corrupted, so I'm just gonna... You guys just get to listen to my background noise. 5 hours of scraping lithos.
Are y'all music people when you work, or what's the go-to when you're making a print?
I can't, because I have to record videos.
Oh. Dang. What about you?
Yeah, you just keep it quiet like this. So I can hear all of the noises I'm making.
I think when I'm printing, especially litho, I try to either have the music be on in the shop or no music because I want to hear the sound of my slab.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear how much ink I've got going on, and I also want to hear like I don't know if anything like the press makes a weird noise or anything like that. But when I'm like drawing, I'll have headphones on normally. Most of the time, because I know if anyone comes in and talks to me, I will be distracted and I will not draw. Because I think as y'all play this back, you're gonna see like you're gonna be like, oh wow, Chenxi and like Nick drew like 5 things, and Zoe's still on her dang finger up there, like working on the dang hand for 5 hours. Her multitasking skills are. But that said, when printing, I like to have a little song on. I think it's fun to have like a theme music.
When I was a kid, I would write all of my assignments at the dining table facing the kitchen so I can hear my mom cooking or the TV or just anything else in the room.
Oh, I like that.
I just like some kind of white noise background.
Mm.
Keep me half distracted, but I
Yeah.
can still work on things.
Make you feel a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with like it feels like I'm being kept accountable if I'm in a space where there's other people working. If I'm alone, I'm like, who knows if I'm working or not? But if I go to the cafe or something and there's a bunch of other people working, they're gonna know if I'm just sitting there playing on my phone or whatever. So I've got to sit down and really grade or whatever the heck else I need to do. Nick, you just work in silence for your videos?
Yeah. Well, the very first videos are like, I just completely voiced over it. So like,
During what you're doing?
yeah, so like audio
Oh.
never really mattered. But now I started including more like sounds of the shop into the videos.
That makes sense.
It is kind of nice. And I think it's kind of helpful. Like, I guess if someone's trying to learn from what I'm doing to hear what's going on too, then that means I can't have music in the background.
Ugh.
I used to have, I guess when I do other stuff, when I like bind the books, that's when I watch anime.
Mm. I don't know how you do that. I can't have anything with like words. Oh my god, that would kill me. No, okay, wait. When I'm drawing.
Oh yeah, drawing. No, like I need to focus, but like
Really?
bookbinding.
No, the other way. When I'm drawing, I can listen to all the words. I'll listen to podcasts when I draw. What? When you're
Like-
drawing, you can't have words?
Like bookbinding is like I need to, like it's mindless. I can sew a
Yeah.
book without thinking about it.
Is drawing not mindless for you?
No,
Oh.
it's hard. That's why I don't like drawing.
What about you, Chenxi?
I think if it's a TV show that I've watched
Yeah.
a lot of times, it's okay to be the background. But if it's new, I will stop and look
Watch
at the
it.
screen.
I'll do that.
Yeah. And when I was braiding the threads for my thesis show, I was watching the TV because I don't have to look at my hands.
That makes
I
sense.
can just watch the TV and then my hands was doing something else.
Yeah, I need like if I've got something going on auditorially, it can be new information so long as I'm not like as long as I don't need to look at it. When it's a podcast, it's great because there's nothing
Yeah.
to look at. There's
Yeah.
nothing that can distract me.
Voice.
Yeah.
No, next episode we're gonna take this stone to Starbucks and start drawing over there.
Yeah. I think earlier we were talking about are we gonna add something to the background or it's gonna stay
Oh.
as flat?
I don't know. It might kind of be fun just flat in the. It's such a good shape. At the same time, I don't know.
I like
Yeah.
how I feel like we talked about this yesterday, but like the hat for this thing, it feels like an intro student who ran out of room on the page. You have to like
Yeah.
squeeze everything
I was
down.
thinking, I was like, oh man, we could like wipe away the gum up there and make the hat like break the picture plane if we wanted to. I'm kind of in love with this image. Can I get it tattooed?
Well, if you're prepared for your tattoo artist to set you down for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. I want to be on the committee that designs water guns. Because it's not just one committee. There's probably multiple companies that are.
Super soaker.
That was a big part of Louisiana summer was water guns. Because it got all of us out of the house because there were 1,000 of us, and then B, it kept us cooler than just playing outside with. Because Lord knows our parents weren't trying to have us die of heat stroke.
I think it was like I would hate if I get this wrong. But I think it was like a NASA scientist who invented the super soaker. It's just like some sort of like hydraulic engineering challenge, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to turn this into a toy.
That's
So
awesome.
I like to say that's NASA's greatest contribution to society. When people say, what does NASA even do for us?
Dude, well, they had
I know,
diapers
they
too,
do-
right?
they do a lot of things.
Well, didn't they accidentally invent diapers?
Accidentally?
Yeah,
They accidentally make a lot of great things,
I think
like the super soaker.
the goo that goes in like the main
Ah.
cavity of a diaper was supposed to be something else entirely. Let's look it up. This is where Nick does a voiceover. I'm like, actually, oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad you're doing the hat first so that I can do the rest of the gun behind it.
Oh yeah.
Because like the gun's long. The gun's too long. Sorry, like in advance to all you audiophiles who have to hear me cackle into the microphone. You just gotta, when you add the captions, Nick, you just gotta put like Zoe raucously laughing. Sorry, Barnes Grand. All right. Once again, for all you listeners out there, all you wild, wild cats, I have now switched crayons. I'm now on the Nick number question mark.
It's either a number 3 or it's a number 1.
Ooh, it's a number 3. It feels great.
If it breaks instantly, it's one of the number 1s.
Damn. I feel really bad. I dated a guy throughout like high school and undergrad who I would try to get him to play drawing games with me. Like I would try to get him to do exquisite corpses and stuff. And he hated it. He did not enjoy it. But it was one of the best ways I knew like to get my friends together and make, have fun drawing. They'd be like, oh, draw with me. And he'd be like, no. He hated it. I was like, man, I'm sorry. Even some of my drawing friends don't enjoy it as much as I do. I love imagining what the rest of their face looks like inside the horse. We'll never know. Shoot, I might have to break the picture plane too, Chenxi. I just need the top of my water gun to come up a little higher.
Well, luckily, I think my crown and Barnes crowns are waterproof.
Nice.
I don't know what they put in like the old stones and corns. Those kind of smear with water sometimes.
Which is kind of fun. I will say I've been drawing a little bit with corns here and there. And the T-bar ones kind of smear a little with water too, but it's nice when I'm working with water touche because like they'll blend. The touche will really blend with the rest.
But I think if you do add enough soap, it does become water soluble.
Like you gotta edit every time I say like someone's brand. You gotta like like Batman spin the logo. I don't know if everyone has a logo. I don't know what Barnes' logo would be. It's just Barnes' head. Just a picture of him. Please do it. Just make like a soy jack. Oh, I'm backing it. You can even use this clip if you need to, so that he knows it wasn't your idea. Blame me. We go to etch it and it's all gone. It's ruined. We had a really good video of it existing though.
We'll just screenshot the drawing at the end. Just print it
Like
off.
a Xerox print. You know what? Actually, that's the last episode you ever make. Like, forget fine art printmaking. Man, you do got some levigator scratches on here, calling you out.
Well, it's not levigator. It's a stone on stone.
Oh.
But this was very last minute.
Excuses. My students in crit. Oh, I did it all last night. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Like, I promise I made things last minute, but the last thing I was going to do was tell my teacher that. For all my teacher knows, it's been 5 months I've been working on this. So yes, if you're a student watching this right now, lie. And then lie and you know, make it convincing. Lie and give us something that's convincing. If you lie and like, I worked on it for 8 weeks and we know, because most of the time we do know.
So for my students, I maybe taught them 4 or 5 different monotype techniques, and I asked them to pick maybe 2 or 3 for their final project. And one of them thought that they had to use all of them, so they just used all of the techniques. The prints turned out to be really good, but during critique, they were like, "Oh, I thought I had to use all of them." I was like, "You don't have to tell me. You can say."
Just say you were ambitious.
Yeah.
Too honest, which I'm also always grateful. I'm like, I'm glad I made a space that you feel like you can be that honest with me.
Yeah.
However, don't
have to.
let me believe that you
Everything's intentional.
that you cared so much. Yeah, I'm a fan of the white background. I think it's kind of fun as like a sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be a bitchin' sticker, man. If you make one and scan it, shoot.
Off the borders.
Oh yeah, you're right. How this
cut
would
it
like
off.
fade. Yeah. Cut that. This is where you'd put that in the video. Like, why sticker here? Click this link.
I guess that would be more affordable if someone wants to get that rather than just buying one of these prints. I think I could do that.
I always heard that you should make something that's small and affordable and something more.
I don't know if this could be small.
The
But
sticker?
a little bit more affordable. The sticker would probably be big if you want to like,
Yeah,
Get all
all
this
the
in here.
details.
or are you also detail oriented?
Sorry. It looks good.
Maybe that next one you can set a rule: no shading, only line work.
What's the point of it being a litho? Yeah, go just your next one. Go pick somebody who's got a very, very like
Graphic
style. Yeah.
So when you do litho or intaglio, do you, like in the process of making it or drawing, do you take a picture and flip it to see
Oh yeah.
how it's gonna
I
look
also
like?
when I'm doing Intaglio and I'm like drawing through the
The background.
yeah, I'll take a picture and then
Yeah,
Like,
same.
I'll shine as bright of a light on it as I can to try to make the white lines, and then I'm constantly taking pictures of them. Partially because I want the dopamine of sending it to people and being like, look at where I'm at, you know, like here's how far along I am. And then partially because I'm like, I
I just want to know.
need to look. Also, sometimes it's like a really good tool for me to like see. It's like stepping back from a big painting. You know, it's a new perspective when you look at small on your phone. So, oh.
Man, I used to, and I got this phone. It's like Sony Xperia, and like Google Photos will not let me reverse photos
What?
on my phone, at least. And
Yeah,
that pisses me
agreed.
off. Does it do yours?
Yeah, it won't let me flip the image or inverse the image. I
Yeah,
have to
I hate
have
that.
a separate app to do it.
Yeah, I hate that.
I'm like, it's really simple.
My
The
One
old-
time an iPhone has been helpful.
My old phone that wasn't like Google Photos based, I could do it, and I used to use that all the time. but Google's Photos won't let me do it.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple tool, and it would
Yeah.
make my life so
Now
much
they
easier.
have like AI to help you
I know.
erase part of the image
Oh,
or
yeah.
things, but that's just
Why
a
can't I
simple.
flip it?
I know. That's what my most requested feature. I just want to flip my image. It also helped with on plein air lino cuts that I do. Because I could just take a picture of something and then flip it on my phone and use that as a reference. But not anymore.
What's the point of being on Phan air?
I know. Well, now I just on plein air things that wouldn't matter if they were reversed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the tree. Yeah. Honestly, this reminds me of in my new house, the walls in the kitchen.
Oh, this is a bunch of wooden
Just
boards
shapes, yeah.
shingled on top of each other.
For our listeners at home, my new home, they decided a whole patch of the kitchen should just have boards nailed to each other. It's really bizarre. It's like I don't know, maybe how a cartoonist would design a wall. It looks really strange. And then they painted it all white with the landlord special.
Sometimes you're just working on a print, and then halfway through, you're like, did I account for it reversing?
Oh gosh. Yes, because I normally make my image all as like digital collage after I've physically collaged it, and then I flipped it 1,000 times. I do too much pre-planning, I think, to not. But the things like this, which I don't ever get to do, which is what's so fun, and I'm so glad you invited me. I've had to think of it for this hand. So. I think Katha Kolwitz and June Wayne are in the same part of heaven that has lithostones.
They get to be at the quarry itself.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if they want that. I don't know if they want to work. It's just all of that area of heaven, the ground is just one large lithostone. And you're not greasy. You don't have a body, so.
You never have to sharpen your litho crowns in heaven.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You just lift them to the sky and God sharpens them when you go back down.
They just always stay sharp for you.
Oh, nice. I like that better. Makes like you're not thinking big enough, Zoe.
That's the manna for heaven for lithographers. The never dull litho pencil.
Oh. I always wanted to know what manna from heaven tasted like. Like every time I'd read that part in the Bible, I was like, wow. I wonder if it's like a Lunchable.
I wonder. They didn't have salt or anything back. Well, I guess they kind of.
Yes, they did.
They didn't have very many spices and stuff.
They did though. They did. They still like Mediterranean spices.
In the desert.
I mean, they were still preserving stuff. They probably didn't have an array of
But I do wonder what ancient recipes taste like.
I think historically, a lot of them would have been a lot of fruits. A lot of ancient recipes have stuck around and stayed the same. I bet it was divine. Now I'm sure there was a lot of desert food. Oh boy, was eating locusts and honey, right? Like that. John the Baptist said, maybe not so delicious. There's some of that ancient wine and stuff. Oh my god. I'm sure we've come up with preservatives and things. And oh my gosh, if I could just bring MSG, if I could bring one Dorito to someone in the Bible, Lazarus, as soon as he comes out of the tomb. Hello, take this. I'm doing what Jeffrey Todd Smith calls overworking. In Jeffrey Todd Smith land, I would have had to leave this alone a long time ago.
Jeffrey Todd Smith isn't real. He can't hurt you.
Jeffrey Todd Smith doesn't watch your YouTube channel. But now he does. I'm going to send this to him as soon as you publish it. You got to redact his name, in the video. Beep. From now on, every time I say
Ronald McDonald.
you better edit it a beep.
We'll just put someone else's name in there.
Oh my gosh. But use the AI voice.
Yeah.
John McCain. That's who I should put a face in this crack and make it someone's really recognizable face, a really hyper-realistic portrait.
You're the only one who can do that. I could not pull off a small litho face.
I like sometimes when you do a small litho face and you just leave it, you're like, all right, that's enough. You leave a one feature that's kind of bizarre, but it stays. It's my favorite. Going back to the Barnes crayon for the shading part, because the hardness of it's nice for where I've anywhere that I've overdone the damn knife work, the Barnes crayon can still fit in those cracks. Brian Kelly's solution for that was just never do knife work. He's like, you're good enough at drawing to where you never have to go in with a knife. I was like, Jesus. Mark making's so different than what you could do with a knife, though. He also was very anti like sketch it out beforehand. He's like, just get good enough to where his answer was just get good. He's like just draw it. I was like, oh gosh. I remember a friend messaged me when he got to grad. It was it was, I want to say that it was Mike Miller who messaged me when he got to grad. He was like, do you sketch your stuff out beforehand and then transfer it? I was like, yes, Mike. I was like, go for it. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. We'd been sold the narrative that we couldn't for so long. I was like, go ahead. You're free now. You're a grad. It was good practice to like not be loud. He'd also take away my reference. Give me that iPad. I was like, no.
These kids and their iPads.
I wanna look at what I'm drawing. Y'all ever seen an ibis?
I don't know. Is that not like
I've seen
a
pictures.
flamingo or a stork or something?
It's something different.
He's his own little thing. He's fucked up. They're really weird. They have scarlet ibises that are all the way red.
Different than from that thing that was in Finding Nemo?
A pelican?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Birds have too many bill shapes. That thing that was in Finding Nemo. The state bird of Louisiana.
Is it the ibis or the pelican?
No, the pelican.
I watched Finding every time there was like in high school where there's like a substitute teacher or we like had to watch a movie. We would always get Finding Nemo, and then it'd be like Finding Nemo normally, or Spanish class it'd be like Finding Nemo in Spanish.
It's a good way to learn a language.
Seen Finding Nemo like probably like 10 times like that year. I guess it's a good like everyone rated movie.
Yeah.
Very wholesome. I remember one year in high school, my Spanish teacher went evil, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna watch a movie in Spanish," and it was a freaking like horror movie.
What movie was it?
I don't. It was like some haunted house and like some haunted doll. Can't remember. And then he jump scared us in the movie. Like he just like threw a book on the ground, and we all just jumped.
And there was one time my high school went out of power, and it was at night. We were supposed to be studying in the classrooms, and we just turned it into a karaoke thing.
That's
People
so
just
fun.
randomly stand up and start singing
That's so fun.
without electricity, so it's all dark.
Hey, it's a lot easier to sing in front of people whenever no one can see you.
Yeah. Even though we could tell who
Like
it
who it
was.
was?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
It
less
was-
scary.
like the fun times.
Oh. I want another narrative, like why and where they're going. They robbed a bank.
They stole someone's cat.
That's that's what that's peeking out
Yeah.
What if our pencils touched while we were drawing?
while we were drawing. What would you do if our pencils touch? Snap the pencil in half.
We just keep drawing, and then we hear a little snap noise.
Oh gosh. You gotta edit it in. Every time one break, you gotta do the vine boom. Every time the crayon breaks. Maybe this is how Bosch did it. Like when he made the Garden of Earthly Delights, he just had all his friends make weird little guys. You wanna come to my house and drink wine and make weird guys? Okay.
Or just do what the creative Attack on Titan does and just caricature all your friends.
Oh my god, is that what he does?
Yeah.
That's horrible. How would it be to be watching it and be like, wait, is that one me? Man, that one's me.
Well, I think I don't know, man. Don't quote me on this, but I read somewhere that like he got tired of people asking him like, "Oh, you're making a manga? Can you put me in there?" And then like, "Oh, I'll put you in there, all right."
Oh my god.
Make you as
that's-
ugly as possible.
Oh, I'll put you in there.
It's like whenever like you're an artist and people ask like, "Oh, can you draw me?"
You draw my
Oh, I'll
family?
draw you, all right.
Can you draw my girlfriend? Is that you? That's the other one I hate. Is that you?
I mean, 90% of the time it is me.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe. Still, don't ask. No!
I should put like the -1 on the screen.
Losing health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than the Vine Boom. Just have us lose a heart. Start off with all the hearts, and every time one breaks. Dang, it would mean you'd have to watch the video really carefully, Nick.
Just keep going negative.
Yeah.
Down.
Oh gosh. But we can see who loses the most hearts. It'd probably be me.
I do write with a heavy hand.
If you do make stickers, we can each keep the stickers at our MAPC open portfolio table.
We'll each have this print. That's the beauty of printmaking.
Yeah.
Just in your portfolios, when you submit for applications, you just have a YouTube link. This.
Here you go. He looks like he means business. I wouldn't cross him.
I guess we'll have to come up with a story with them afterwards. I like how we said we each do a thing on the quilt, and then we just left Chenxi to do it all.
No, there's still time.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Still a lot of space.
It's just hard to get so many hands in one cramped space. You didn't hear that.
-1.
Meow. Ooh.
This one's the Mountain Dew logo.
Sean Star Wars shout out. Meow, 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 meow. Their sword jacket pin flies across the screen. Please. Sword jacks are easy enough, right? You just have to trace over a real image. I'm gonna do it again, so you have to keep putting him on the screen. Sean Star Wars. Sean Star Wars. Sean Star Wars' wife. Sean Star Wars. I also like that this insinuates that like the horse's head is perpetually to the side. Does that make sense? Like when he runs forward, that the horse is like. It works. It gets the job done.
I was just thinking, what if we do the super lazy thing and just be like, it's up to the viewer to decide what this piece is about.
Oh yeah, no, I love that.
Like the worst thing in critique.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's really up to personal interpretation.
I like to believe that this creature is like a old folk tale, little creature that just like survives, robs towns, and like over the years, as like progress like technology advances, it just try to like add little snippets of itself, or like tries to keep up with the times. So it just slowly gets more and more modern disguises. But it doesn't really shed its old disguises and just keeps adding them on.
I like that. It's like a homunculus of sorts. What did he start as though? Was he the
Medieval.
medieval? Where were they trying to go? Like, what was the original goal? It's the last two people left in the Trojan horse.
They fell asleep in the horse. They didn't know it was time to get out.
They're like, oh crap.
Maybe it's a curse. They have to achieve something in order to get out of it.
Oh, I like that. But what?
But what are they trying to do?
He's got the water gun. They have to baptize the president of the United States, but security is so high. And it could be any president. And they tried really hard with Abraham Lincoln, but John Wilkes Booth got to him first. Same with Kennedy. They were in Dallas ready to see the parade, and they're like, damn it! There's holy water in the
water gun.
Yeah, so they gotta baptize him.
I thought you said you were done with the water gun.
I thought it was. I'm just adding highlights now. We're pushing and pulling space. Well, if anyone ever tells us we can't draw, they're wrong. Because we made this. It's a horrifying drawing.
Are you gonna finish the quilt?
Yeah. We keep getting distracted by adding shadows and highlights. But I need to stop. I'll switch with you if you want, Chenxi.
Yeah.
That little paw is so cute. I like the pocket for the coat. I'm just not seeing that, Nick. That's great.
I just needed something to break up that
Space.
I guess it needs a pocket for the other side.
It's a one pocket jacket.
Yes. Ace.
They were all the rage during the time whenever they got the jacket as part of the get up.
They received the discount.
Well, actually, the guy gave it to him free because he was like, dude, you're really creepy. There's too many parts of you. If you put a jacket over that, it'll be a lot better.
The jacket maker messed up his jacket, and so he's just trying to get rid of it real cheap.
He's like, yeah, look, man, it's really for the better if you just take that. And the Ibis can't talk, so the Ibis just kind of clicked its bill. It was like, are you sure? Like at the bottom of the screen, there's the subtitle. Like, are you sure? And you guys are like, yeah, take it, man. Get out of here. Did they all think with one mind? Like, are they one entity, but just a multifaceted body? Or are they all individuals that like are in a gang?
They're individuals in a gang. Makes life harder. They have to get 4 times as much food.
What did they do to get the curse bestowed upon them?
They overslept getting out of the Trojan horse.
Oh yeah.
Last one's out as a rotten egg.
Last one out has to baptize the president of the United States. The who?
They got triple dog dare to stay in a costume.
Yeah, the feather is making it. It's so good.
I wish there's something coming out of that.
Oh, out the water gun? Yeah, I was thinking that earlier.
It just squirts into the...
In the horse's mouth. I could do that. I can make that happen. You want to switch with me and do quilt? I'll make water come out. God damn it.
That's kind of gross, but
No, it's funny. Nick's gonna do to us what Brian Kelly used to do to me. Which is that he'd throw rosin and talc onto my stone to tell me I was done. He's like, alright, you're done now. I was like, no! So that he doesn't have to edit the video any longer.
I just have the whole video at 30 times speed and don't even edit the voices. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that Durer piece. There's like the knight, the devil. You know, it's got like a knight on a horse and it's like devil walking alongside him.
Mm-mm. I don't know if I know that one. And it's not like the Horsemen of the Apocalypse or anything?
No, it's a different one.
Huh. Pull it up.
The knight, death, and the devil.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe just Man on a Horse vibes will just make me think of that.
I love it. I love the direct comparison to something as goofy as this. Javert rolling in his grave.
Zoe the Litho Queen.
I don't know about all that.
Little crown.
Out of a crayon, all crayon pieces.
Yeah, those like pointy things.
Oh gosh.
There were a lot of them in a circle.
They'd be like, what's that nasty thing on your head? I'm like, it's my crown. Don't make fun of it.
Yeah, my undergrad professor would call it romance the stone. So kind of touch it.
You're not wrong.
I think there's a movie. He said it was from a movie, but nobody watched it in my class.
Oh no.
Super old movie.
Oh. You gotta go watch it just to make him happy. I like Romance on the Stone as a concept. I always told my students, like, you're putting good energy into it the whole time. You're like, I was like, you gotta, I was like, also, you're rubbing the gum all against all the little dots, but also I was like, infuse it with good energy. If you're thinking negative thoughts while you're etching the stone will feel it and be mad, will be upset. These feet are so good. I cannot get over how much I love each individual foot. And I'm so glad we gum masked them because they look really cool with the shadows around them.
Yeah. I like now the transfer is disappearing.
Yeah.
It's not
Just
as
nice.
destructive anymore.
My hands are going to look like they're moving so freaking fast. I don't know, man. This is good. I could not tell that 3 different people made this. I'm glad that the video exists so we can see who drew what.
We have the evidence.
Y'all ever watch Sagwa?
yes.
I love that show. It was silly and weird. And they were like, there's a whole episode where they tried to like, I don't know, they found out what their names meant and they were really upset. It was like Sagwa, Shiba, and was it Dongwa? I think the brother was Dongwa. And then they're like, my name means like winter melon, my name means this, and then Sagwa was like yeah.
What show is it?
It's like a kid's show, and
It
she's
smells like cats.
yeah, she's a Chinese Siamese cat, and so like she's a Siamese cat that lives in China, and they work for the emperor, and they like use their tails to like write calligraphy for the emperor, and they're like trained to do that. And their parents are really good at it, and so Sagwa's like the main character, and she's like the middle daughter. She has an older brother Dongwa, and then Shiva is like, yeah, Shiva is like her littlest sister who's always getting her in trouble. And then they're like finding out their names, and she found out that like her parents named them that because like her parents like met in the melon patch or whatever, and that like called each other like, And in the show, it says like silly melon head, but I was like, that means like idiot melon, right? Or like dumb melon, or
Yeah.
oh. I think I put a little more ink on the slab.
That'll be the
So I just close my eyes.
Yeah, because I guess the stone will be like on top of your head.